So this video accompanies my earlier video, parts 1 and parts 2, on the cold smoking process for a brisket, where I show you all of the ways and then end up with, well, quite frankly, mediocre results. But it's not the fault of the smoker, it's not a fault of the recipe, it's the fault of me. So just sit back a spell and let me explain to you how I created this lovely looking brisket that tasted kind of bland. And that's not his fault, that's my fault. Good morning, hope you got your morning wood on. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experiment that I just did with the smoke slinger on cold smoking. So I got this technique that everybody's been talking about. It's an old technique, but it's a technique that's been revived by Cooper Abercrombie of Bar A Barbecue, which is part of Texas Monthly's top 25 barbecue places. Now, he's doing it on a large pit. I'm trying to do it on a small pit like the smoke slinger, but it can be done. So I'm here to report, after the 2 videos that I did, part 1 and part 2, what I learned, why I made the mistakes that I did, because I did make some mistakes, but they were intentional mistakes, and where I'm going to go from here. Now, the cold smoke process has you, instead of stacking wood like Lincoln logs where it gets a lot of air, the cold smoke process, the beginning process for smoking a brisket, means you bundle wood so that air really can't get in between the pieces of wood, and then you walk away from it and let the brisket smoke at anywhere between 150 and 200 degrees. 210, it really doesn't matter because you're eventually going to go up, but you dial your smoker in for that. Now, that part of the experiment, I didn't think that this thing could do it, but by stacking the wood the way Abercrombie does it, Cooper does it, I was able to get that. It was a lot of smoke, and I was real worried about the brisket being too bitter. I have done some cold smoking, but it wasn't for like 4 hours. He does it for 6, so everything that we do, since we're doing on a smaller pit, except for maybe time, and maybe in some increments time as well, has to be done in smaller increments. So smaller fires, obviously, smaller time exposed to cold smoke, etc. In this video right here, you will see that I have stacked quite a lot of wood on, and I think I would probably go with 1 less layer of wood. As you can see from this video, this is the amount of wood I had left over after 4.5 hours. And I'm thinking I don't need that amount of smoke. So what I'm going to do is I am going to remove 1 layer from what I was putting on, but still stack the wood exactly the same and still smoke the wood and walk away. The other mistake that I made is that I started this process in the afternoon, and I should have started it in the morning. And the reason why is because I got tired of tending the fire, and actually I didn't have to tend the fire, I just got tired of staying up all those hours, and so I went over to another method. So I'm going to discuss this other method that I use. Smoke the brisket at about 275 for about 6 hours, and then wrap it and put it into either a Cambro or a holder overnight. We did this at Church's. The only thing is, on that, is I got at least past halfway through the rendering stage. So what I did with this brisket was I ended up wrapping it to speed it up before any of the rendering, even getting the water out, quite frankly. So what happened was the water level rose from the actual brisket itself, and fat level rose inside of the foil, almost covering the brisket, and then when we drained that away, we drained away all the flavors. So that I'm not going to do. So what I suggest I will do next time is, like I said, I'm going to build the fire with 1 less row of wood. I'm going to, once I get down to the coal bed that we saw earlier at 4.5 hours, so let's just say it's around 3, I'm going to rake those coals and start building my temperature up to 225 to 250 to 275, right? And then maybe even upwards of 290, right? 300. I'm not so worried about those temperatures. And then pull it and then rest it for a long period like he does. So when he foils, he's just foiling to rest. And he actually lets them cool too. So if he's letting them cool to around 140 or 150, somewhere around there, then wrapping them and then putting them in a holder where their temperature is sustained overnight, that's part of the cooking process too. So from the Funkatorium, goodbye, and hope you tune in to my next video. Just keep an eye out for it. It's going to be a while before I want some brisket. It may even be after Thanksgiving because I got so much to do. Bye-bye.